Hello, this is Michael from Blue Gem Tarot. Today's episode pick a card reading is going to be called You Don't See It Coming, but It Will Blow Your Mind. I feel like this one should be enticing, entertaining, and very interesting to listen to. At least I wouldn't resist clicking on such a topic. For this one, we have three piles as usual. We have first with the lapis crystal, second with a clock, and third with a square pendant. If you hear my voice in a slight different way, it's because I've caught a cold. So yeah, um, I think that's pretty much it for the introduction. Pick what resonates, leave the rest. If you don't agree with the information, that's completely fine to not take it. Um, Also, yeah, my readings are not gender specific. And also, if you want to listen to multiple piles, go ahead and do that. If you can recognize yourself, your situation, your character within multiple piles, and if you feel like it resonates or selectively resonates, let's say, or if you just feel drawn to listen to all of them, then go ahead and listen to all of them because it can be interesting what you can uncover. um, Primarily because it could be the case for some of you that it will touch on some various aspects of you, whether it be past, immediate, present, or even the future. Okay, let's begin with pile number one. You have the Awakening card. In reverse, it says in here energetic upgrades, new way of being, and integration. Considering how this card is in reverse, I can say one thing for sure is that you can expect a whole lot of powerful change. And because this is awakening, this will be relevant to the people who go through this on their own. It feels to me like this is talking about character changes that will mirror and reflect in reality. And also, this does make me feel like people will start to perceive you differently. People will start to change in the ways in which they behave around you. And I can see in here a powerful change of inner world, or it talks about, to me, like this energy talks about transformation. Why is this mind blowing, by the way? It's because, like, speaking about the topic I showcased, in your case, it's the feeling of getting used to someone that you were, and that being changed, that being updated, and you discovering yourself anew, you discovering yourself from new sides, or you discovering things and truths about you that you didn't know. And to be quite frank and realistic with you, this could be changes in which people will not recognize you, but they are for the better, by the way. So if you are struggling with stuff, I don't know, maybe some of you will be caught between like a rock and a hard place, you know, that kind of thing. It's coming to a resolution in the sense that you will discover what you truly want. I can read on a lot of clarity, I can read on a lot of liberation, freedom. I can also feel like almost a loss of responsibility over something that shouldn't have been yours, or you know, I can see and hear that for sure. You won't be expecting like this whole change. It's a feeling as though it will happen, and you will be kind of, you will not anticipate it, you will not understand what's going on, but you will feel yourself born again in a way. You have in here the guide in reverse, inheritance and correction. A lot of freedom, I can say that. A lot of liberation. And by the way, if you felt restrained by circumstances, work, people, society, or if you have like a topic in your life right now that you feel like, I would never have the courage to change that. I would never have the energy or the power to change or to go against it. How this is changing, I cannot even tell you. You will not recognize yourself, and even more so, the people around you will not recognize you. I can see in here almost like a splitting of the old you and the new you, and it's just making me feel it's a bit uncomfortable for the people around you. I want to say that because people got used to something in here. And when I see that thing lifted from you, that character or that, you know, change that's waiting for you, that's coming from the internal world, you will make people feel uncomfortable. And I don't feel like this is a bad thing for pile number one because finally I can see you choosing yourself in a way. The Walker, the Unknown, a Journey. Self-discovery is also kind of relevant for this pile, and expression is the case. I can say in here also free time came through, like free time, vacation, journey could be also traveling for some of you. This will not resonate with everyone, but if you had a craving for exploring the horizons, this is going to be the case that you will discover some sort of compartment in your life or in your personal identity that is in tune with moving a lot and moving and switching places. And the new you will feel unusual. It will feel somehow like if you were to meet that person, like the younger self, if they were to meet you, who you will become or who you are right now, they would be pretty shocked or quite against a lot of the things. That's how you'll recognize yourself in the reading. But on a more pragmatic note, it's a lot of free, flowy, I want to be myself. I want to explore what I want to do. I want to explore what's mine. I want to explore what I was called to be in this life. Like, that's the feeling that comes to like on the radar with pile number one. And I can definitely say this will, by the way, somehow ignite a lot of, not even ignite, but it will call upon a lot of like criticism in a way. But I feel like this doesn't bother you as much, or I don't feel like it's necessarily going to impact you. It's like you're gonna just do what you consider right, and these people will be just resenting that decision. Anyway, it's just like very funny in a way because just choosing yourself, it's a very intense, also singular in a way feeling, but it's like very liberating. I can sense the freedom this pile will experience or is already on the verge of. I can also feel a lot of renewal in here from the Walker chord. And just things and situations that were highly stressful. And in general, like, I want to say it feels to me like you contributed with your energy a lot, where and in spaces and in situations that were not as like supporting you in that. It's like you brought a lot of contribution to situations that you did not receive, but you did not receive the credit or the proportionate like appreciation in here. That's coming to an end, and with your leave, like I see you leaving. I see you leaving this situation in ways that are very unpredictable. This doesn't mean like pile number one will get fired or something, or will change places or whatever. No, it just feels to me like you will be placed in situations where more and more you will be appreciated. I can see in here a lot of vitality as well. Um, just the reoccurring message that you will not recognize yourself is quite funny. Um, and also simplification. Like, kind of interesting for this pile how, even though we have awakening in reverse, it could be like you will be a bit confused with the amount of simplification in your life, and you'll be like, I have so much extra time. Like, that's the feeling. And you'll be like, what should I do with that time? I want to say it's actually a bit amusing as a channeled message, because you will also understand a lot of the struggles that you've had relating to the past. But yeah. And by the way, expect a sort of change in your scenery relative to your social life. I seen here people changing, like, again, gears when it comes to the ways in which they relate it to you. And I can also say for sure that they will find you extremely attractive. I want to say this pile is naturally attractive and very alluring in a way. And it almost makes me feel like dense in some sort of energetic way. But it just feels to me like the change, the mind-blowing change in this case, will allow this pile, will facilitate this pile into um, being more like having that attraction being like primed, or almost like brought to the front. I will not be surprised, and by the way, not gonna lie, it does make me feel like with the fishes card, especially this representation, it could be a bit like almost like popularity, or the funny thing though, it's like this pile will discover some sort of solitude and freedom in that, and you're gonna be like, why do I need you? Like, have I lost my mind, like, to get hooked on relationships? Like, that's gonna be the feeling. Or it's like I treasure my privacy way too much to get like in that whole mud. It's kind of funny if you think about it, but there will be also like some sort of wish fulfillment in here, that you'll be like, no thank you, I've seen where this is headed. Where I see where this is headed, and I'm like, no, no thank you, I'm not taking this. This pile is quite, like, in a way sassy, I want to say, because you have such capacities to project and create desires and wishes into your life, but it's like the speed at which these evolve, and that's a good thing. It's like a quite unique thing, by the way. It's just like the universe sometimes doesn't have enough time to make them happen, and when it does, it's like you're like 3 or 4 like wishes ahead, and it's like, I outgrew this. And also, you see, the thing is, like, it's quite funny. I cannot like avoid that. You will have help or assistance in some sort of way, and you'll be like, I can do it better. Like, come on, I could do it better. Or it's like, who asked for your help? It's kind of in style for this pile to act in such a way, in like a humorous way. It does make me feel like you're almost like playing with the universe, where it tries to bless you, but you're like almost like avoiding it. It reaches you still, but you're like trying to play hard to get, in a way. I wouldn't be surprised if this dynamic is being like somehow sifted through the relationships that you have as well. Anyways, I do believe that you are a very esteemed character in this case, and one that doesn't like stick to the crowd. Or I do believe that you are someone who's meant for like a few people. And this is not like for like a pile for everyone, like for everybody. like a person who has, you know, those people who have like one friend or five, and they can like entrust their lives to these people. Like that's the kind of like quality of people this pile deserves, or has, you know, should have or has already. It just feels like it's a very almost, again, like very sassy, almost very naughty type of person in here who's like, I can manage it on my own. Like whoever gave you the idea or the impression that I will not be able to make this work is a bit like yeah, retarded. Or there is like a message of, do I look like I need your help? Where in reality this pile could be like almost like not even like desperate necessarily, but like actually craving a bit of that validation, or yeah. It's like I feel like these are the people who, you know, you should just read and really understand the ways in which they act, and just be careful when you show yourself. You know, you should be approached in various, like, let's say, discrete ways in which you are being allowed to show up when you want. In any case, some roads are opening. That was also something I was channeling. Quite interesting, by the way. I can see you being walked through alley, alleyway, or like road, and I can see you being offered things. That's coming through with the Ace of Pentacles. Though the striking thing about this pile is the fact that they walk alone. Okay? The Emperor in reverse. It does make me feel like you don't need a partner, or you would rather walk this path alone. I can pick up on a lot of, let's be honest, is gonna be fascination in here from the Fishes card again. You will have attention. I can say that confidently. You will also, quite interestingly enough, filter that attention. So you will have people who will give you attention, but you're like, my standards are too high. And you will filter that attention in a way. But it does feel to me, or it smells about like popularity in here. And it's not as much as like, though it could be for some of you, popularity in the means of like followers or stuff, but just attracting a lot of attention will be relevant. And I can say for sure, people, when they see you, they are shocked because they don't expect. Like, there is intensity in here, there is a lot of energy that's almost like pent up in this pile, and people can feel it and they can feel like being pulled towards it, but they don't get that they don't understand what they're signing up for. But it will blow your mind how much like blessings await you in the social. I feel like you will harness some sort of appreciation that will open doors for you in a very easy way. Something about reputation, something about your character being exposed or expressed, let's say, into the world, is gonna make you feel that you are really, really valuable. Um, of course, I believe you already are. It's just like it's gonna be a moment where you will see this like come true, or you will see this like exposed. That's the feeling. And a lot of optimism. I see, like, you're not used to that kind of thing. I wanna say it's like this pile is self-made, or it's like this pile is generally used to sorting things out in their life on their own. I don't feel like this is a bad thing. Also, there is an information in here saying that you will see the situations in the past, or something that you wished for, and you will recognize that you will be, or you were much more powerful and worthy than that thing that was trying to be like what you probably aimed for. So it's like the feeling when you aimed for something less because you weren't fully aware of how much you actually are worth. So that's the kind of thing I see. And I seen here like an effortless feeling of I'm worthy and I can decline or accept what's in my best of interests. And I am a blessing to the people and the circumstances or the jobs that I agreed to go for. This is a huge confidence boost in here, I can see. And it's not like boost, I don't like this word. It's like, it feels to me like it's temporary. This is more like this pile forgot for a very long time that they were like, kings and like were queens in this case. And it's like this reawakening or discovering that, I am actually a very, very valuable person. Like, and look, people are actually fighting for me. Like the actual parameter in here that will speak for itself will be the fact that you will attract a lot of attention. It's not like the case where, people can be delusional and they can have this grandeur about them, or when people base their persona or perception of who they are from the internal world. This pile, you'll recognize that this is not the case when you'll see the signs in the exterior world. I have no idea what's happening with my accent, but yeah. Okay. Um, I can see in here hate. Okay, not without that. I can see in here like almost like scorn. Um, some people who will be like, we wanted to raise you, we wanted to help you out, or we offered you the best and you turned us down. That's the feeling. By the way, this feels like strangely, like almost satisfying to you, it will feel. Why? It makes me feel like you will be like previously or in the past you used to really think about this whole thing, or you worried about like what are people gonna think, or um what's like you were really afraid of upsetting someone in this case, and in this case it's going to be like, no, my life is too important, or it's like I don't care as much. I don't care, like it's my time, it's my life, it's my life, my rules, like that sort of thing. And naturally I feel like you are going to be stepping in a lot of like, how the person knowing their worth is stepping into new relationships, new circumstances that reflect that. Literally the case. And by the way, with judgment in reverse, there is a feeling of like, this is the first time I come across this, but it's almost like this pile will have or already has a feeling of precognition or feeling the future. Now this is quite interesting. I've never actually came across this in such a direct way, but it's like you will discover some sort of ability to see the future. Maybe this is intuition, maybe this is literally card readings. Who really knows what this is? I have no idea. Okay. Um with the Hierophant in reverse is going to be an unconventional way of like perhaps being in tune with your intuition, but you will not be caught off guard. Okay, that's what I can see. Um, my God, the worth of this pile is shining bright in this reading. Um, I love it. I want to say it's very inspiring. And I like the fact that you will see it, like you will feel it. Like that's the moment, if I were to metaphorically see your face, I would see the happiness in the moment that you'll recognize that you are worth a lot. And by virtue of that, that you deserve the best. Like that's the happiness I can say will basically blow your mind, because I can feel like you are either like exiting a cycle or improving some sort of like receiving energy, or it's like working, or you've been working on like receiving, or it will be easier for you to receive. Right now the places will be switched. That means in the past, if you were hesitant, in the past if you were more introverted or to yourself, and the world was like, with this eight of wands, it could have felt like the world was trying to impose upon you. My god, the places are switching. Now it's going to be exactly the opposite. It will feel like when, and it will not be like, you're going to get the world or something like this. I can see powerful change in the place in which you're going to go, or in the things in which you will participate. That's powerful. That's like the change in here is being showcased with this, like very clearly with this eight of wands. No longer being afraid, no longer waiting for validation, or no longer waiting for approval. That's wonderful. And I can say for sure, because of the change of the character thingy I was talking about and I covered, there will be small, like almost small to not so small changes relative. It could be to your diet, it could be to your style, it could be in the ways in which you relate, work, talk, and the styles in which people will show up into your life and abundance will show up into your life will also, or could actually change. In any case, with eight of wands, this is for the better. But I can say for sure, you will have quite the experience in here with people, because they will blame you. By the way, with the cross in reverse, they would say, or they will say actually, that you were much more comfortable, that you were much more like fitting into the situations that they were preparing for you, that they expected that you are going to be like this forever, and that they do not like that transformation of sorts, and they will refer to it as a sort of bold, rude, almost like it does want to make, it does want me to say almost vulgar. um it's as if these people will, they will project a lot, okay, to say the least. um it does make me feel also that the wonderful news in here is going to be the fact that you will not care. And on top of the things, you'll be a bit busy. You'll be actually quite like busy in this next chapter, whereas like for this pile, it does make me feel like this is very like soon. Now, interesting, for some of you, this could be immediate future. For some of, like for some other category, this will pertain to actually months. Though for a lot of people, I do feel like the actual changes will begin relatively like fast. This is not like talking about years, thankfully. Uh, for some of you, you'll have this build-up effect where you can discover new and new and new things about yourself. This will feel like, for you, you will understand that every single trait I showcased in here was in and of itself you all along. It's just like you closed yourself off, let's say, or you had circumstances that were targeting that or those traits or those character sides of you, making them dormant and making you comfortable. And I can feel like the lovely thing in here, and that's like something beyond this reading, is the fact that it's something about this pile feels transformative and very like it comes as a very dynamic influx of energy, meaning that whatever is being imposed on this pile feels like it's gonna sooner or later be dispelled or discarded because there is too much energy pushing forward when it comes to your identity or when it comes to your being that simply disallowing, like by virtue of evolving so fast, it's disallowing this old programming to be in place, or it's like you're shattering the actual foundation of these. And quite literally, this is happening in a very fast pace thing. That means it could be like pile number one could actually live a very intense life and not a boring one, that's for sure. But also, this does carry excitement, this does carry a lot of passion and anticipation of the future and what's to come and what's possible actually to realize and to accomplish. And you will also realize, like, again, an interesting message I caught in other readings in the past, that situations will be lucky to have you and not the other way around, okay? Um, if anything, this will become even more clear. Like it will become clearer and clearer with the as time passes. And it's a bit almost like with this awakening card, it's a bit hard for people to get used to this. Like normally, I want to say normally, people almost get used to an image or with like a idea of who you are, and they do not like that image or that concept being threatened. They like to control, like they want to feel control by having that image enforced. And when that image becomes too dynamic, as it is in your case, ever changing and too like uh let's say too transformative, it invites a lot of uncertainty. And with that uncertainty, a lot of discomfort. And we have this whole like thing of the reading I was talking about. So yeah, it's kind of funny, like a lot of like internal changes that will unleash um other changes that will be you know catalyzed in the material or the exterior world. You know, it's like when you outgrow a relationship and that person has like no longer has something to get you hooked on, or the person is no longer triggering you and you find it actually no longer intense but actually a bit boring. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Pile number one, I loved reading for you. It was quite an intense, by the way, pile in the good way. But do let me know how it resonated for you in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the future readings. If you want to donate, you have the link in the description section or the comment section. Make sure to leave a like, comment, check out the old videos on the channel, and I hope to see you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, pile number two, welcome to your reading. You have the ever unfolding rose. Um, in reverse, it says in here, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Um, how do I say this? There is going to be a lot happening. Okay. Um, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but it will be a bit overwhelming. On a funny note, Well, I don't like this is a lot, okay? I'm looking at this rose in here in this representation. There will be a lot of things requiring your attention. Um, though, because this showed up in my readings, this means that it will be happily overwhelming you. I have no idea what I said. No, this is interesting. It does make me feel like you wanted something real bad. Um, how you'll recognize yourself in the reading is going to be something along the lines of exposure, or you wanted the honor of something, like that's the feeling, or you wanted to be included in something really important. I can see that happening, but it will be a bit overwhelming, at first at least. Um, just happy news in here, okay? That's wonderful. And with the clock in here as a element you chose, I want to say it feels to me like you've been waiting on something a long time, for a long time, and it's happening for you. It's and it's the funny thing in here, you are limiting the stream in here of your desire. For example, what does that mean? I've heard about this in I don't know where I heard this from, but it's when you want something to happen in a very like defined way and you limit the fulfillment of that. You know, it's like when you wish to have like a sum of money, but you say like I'm gonna win it only in the lottery. It's like limiting the source of that thing, you know. And I was shuffling and we have in here the tower. I want to say wish fulfillment that will shock you and will surprise you in the ways in which you don't see. Like, how do I even, like, why does it have to be so complicated? Um, there were situations where things turned out for the better. I tried to control it. Like I tried to predict it with cards, with whatever. Like really, regardless, it turned out for the better for me, and it happened. I never could have ever conceptualized of what happened. Like that was the feeling. Like my radar was not able to register that happening. Like not in that way. So that's the feeling, and it's like gonna come to you in um it's gonna come to you in a crashing down type of way or scenario. Like, don't be upset, pile number two, but it's like the saying, like, be afraid of your wishes coming true. Now, hear me out. This is not bad because literally this will not land on my channel. Um, the botanist in here. What's interesting? It's yours, okay? It's yours. What you want is yours. It's yours on a fundamental level. It wouldn't have been possible for you to even wish it into like fruition or something. Or it will be yours. I can see this flower. Like the flower thing in here is so powerfully resonating. Like I literally can't. Um it's like a huge bonus, okay? It's like a huge opportunity, or it's like a huge bundle of something, okay? Bundle, it can be the word because of this huge, okay, it's a huge rose, okay? It's a huge rose in here. Um, and I can see this flower again, like it's not leaving the reading for some reason. It's as if it wants to talk and I am its victim, but the botanist, parenthood, and legacy. So it's this is mind blowing for this pile because um, Just like with pile 1, there was a lengthy period of time that was somehow deliberately or showing you, or you were treated in less than good ways. It's almost as if the circumstances were almost like playing deliberately not in your favor, or you ended up in places that were not reflecting your value. And you thought, like, this is like bad luck or something. As a reward for that period of time, you will have like a bomb of blessings in here that will, like, it's again the bundle energy where it's going to be a bit overwhelming. So if you've had a life or a period of time in which you were like neutral, or let's say you are not as solicited, my god, this is changing. And this is changing powerfully because we have in here this legacy thing or information channeled through, where it's like no longer possible for you to hide. Okay, I can see people noticing you, or this situation somehow noticing you, and it's like a flash of sorts, and all of this legacy is being acknowledged. Like, and when I say legacy, it's like who you are, what you are for, like drastic change. The tower comes through as like bashing the illusions in here. Okay, if you like, and I will not be surprised, by the way, how you'll also recognize yourself into the reading. If you will have, or people around you will have, like very predefined ways in which you build your future in your mind, of course. And when this will happen, or when this is like on its brink of like literally entering into your life, all of this planning will be blasted. Like it will be blasted into dust. Like that's the feeling. You will be happy about it. I can say that for sure. Even though we have the tower, it's like, the moment when someone is being offered something and it's like, this is the best thing ever, and you're like, I know my worth, and I'm not gonna sign up for it because it's not enough. That's the bundle, the bomb in here that's coming. It's like, you wished for who you truly are. Now let's show it to you, and you better be prepared. Okay, this is no longer hiding, by the way, the enchanter, deception, trickery in reverse. um this is no longer the case where you were hiding in the I wanted to say closet. Oh my god. I apologize, those of you who are in the headphones. I hope you are not traumatized, but hiding away, hiding, taking the back seat. Um, what else can I add to this? Mm, it's just like a very passive way of being. Like, maybe I'm not worthy of this, or maybe I shouldn't take the lead. How this pile will be thrown into this whole chaos thing where they should, like, as a result, recognize who they are. And you'll be shocked, like Ten of Pentacles. How this is going to shock you, I cannot say. Like, I cannot even, like, give you the impression. I don't know what to pick up in here to express or to give you the feeling. Ten of Pentacles is like, I know I'm worth a lot, but this just feels like almost disproportionate. It's very strange. Um, Ten of Pentacles, again, like with this pile one, there is a feeling of people will give you, why I wanted to say tickets, I have no idea. But people will give you some sort of trust, or almost, if trust would be materialized in tickets, that would be like what should be handed. And it's just going to be the case, like, take the lead. We believe in you, or we want you to show up. Come on, it's like your time to shine. And this is fascinating to me. Why? Because something about talent in here is being shown. It's like you were born to do something, or you were born to take the spotlight, but you deliberately like somehow were afraid, or you thought that you will not make it work. Like this is no longer the case, and I'm sorry to blow your cover, but how y'all think that you're going to live your best life if you're going to live in a safe, like, this legacy doesn't care. Okay, this legacy doesn't care about your limitations, you know. um it's as if, like a famous singer, if they were to temporarily immediately like develop some sort of anxiety of going to the stage, on the stage, oh my god, and you'd be like, the people would be like, we don't care about your anxiety. Like, I'm sorry, like this is not usually like what I say. I really care about feelings, but like that would be the message, like let's say metaphorically, like people would say, come on, like we believe in you, like why do we have to waste time on your anxiety when literally we know that you can do this. That's the case with pile number two. It will blow your mind how people will push you in the situation that you actually wished for, but you just didn't have the courage, and that's okay. This, again, like this legacy thing I was reading, like, my god, it doesn't care, like, who you truly are, your true self, in a way, or your, like, what you're capable of, or your core essence identity. It so doesn't care about what it is that you are afraid of or whatever. It's like, when is the time to shine? And like, should we embarrass them to show up? Like, maybe. And the funniest of things in here with this Fox card in reverse, deep down you know everything I'm talking in here about. And deep down you will have this like happy, satisfied moment when all of this will unfold. You'll be overwhelmed but very satisfied. You know that feeling when you have your wish fulfilled and it's like the best thing in the world. But the shortcoming in this for this reading is going to be that feeling of overwhelm I was talking about. That's manageable, nothing to be afraid of, but yeah. Expect, like, the grand theme in here I can see is change, like internal change, but expect to be thrown in situations where you'll have to expand on and learn a lot of things pretty quickly. It's like when you're so passionate about something, it's like when you don't even have the patience to study it, you're just like, I cannot sleep at night. Like, that's going to be the feeling, and it's going to be like the task or your participation in something in here that will rush you into that space. But with the book in reverse, like, you're not going to have the luxury of like really lengthening this whole thing again and again. Like with the tower card, it's quick, it's like a flash, it's like a lightning bolt that's like aimed at revealing your character into the world, and it's almost like you've asked for a lot and you'll be given a lot. Okay, I can say it's almost like a feeling of stretching. You know that feeling of being sore and exhausted by like effort, but at the end of the day you're like, yeah, it's because I stretched. That's the sort of feeling I get with this pile as well. It's like expansion and growth in almost sporadic ways, or like it's a breakthrough of sorts. It will blow your mind because you will not be expecting this, you will not be anticipating this. It feels really abrupt, especially with this tower card in here. But over time it will be like, it will engulf you in a feeling of gratitude that you've done this, or that you were thrown in this. It's almost as if the universe will be throwing you under the bus, and you're going to be a bit uncomfortable at first, but ultimately you'll feel very satisfied. And especially with this fox card, like, literally, the metaphor when like a child is being born, and the pain, like literally the pain of birth, it's to conceptualize it, it's one thing, but Yeah, what's that on a direct feeling, like felt level? It's a whole different thing. But the joy that follows after the child is born, like that's the feeling as well with the spy, like discomfort, but then a lot of gratitude and a lot of happiness as a result of that. I was taking another card. We have the Sailor in reverse, new influences and Wanderlust. I was looking at the waves, however, and I was like, intensity in here and a lot, like a flow, an overflow of something that's coming to liberate you. At first, it will feel like it's coming after you, but it's not actually. It does make me feel like almost initially you'll feel like it's a sort of a bad luck, or it's like the world is out to get you. It's a very short lived thing or feeling, let's say. But it's very like abrupt, and it switches. Like that's the feeling I get from this pile. Like you'll be reassured almost immediately. That's the feeling, and it's like you're not going to be permitted to go into despair. And when I say that, like what I want you to understand, like what I was showcasing in here, it was not meant to play with you. It was not meant to be sadistic to you, you know. It was not meant to play a cruel joke like you wanted it, here you have it. No, it's quite literally the opposite. It's the case where, you know, it's the speed of the thing is perhaps what has to be adjusted. But the thing is, the result will outweigh the actual like turmoil or the actual discomfort that will take place, you know. But it's a happy discomfort. Like that's the whole like paradox in here. It will feel like it's hard, but it will feel like you're also happy about it. So I have no idea what this is about. Maybe you have an also like a preconceived idea of what's this about, or what am I referring to. But for sure I can say in the moment it can affect you, but in the long run it will very powerfully long term affect you in the best of ways. This is fascinating. I see a gift, by the way. Um, you will be offered a gift, okay? For some of you, this will be a person showing that gift to you. Some of you, this could be literally both. Like a person with a gift, the relationship and the gift will be long term. We have Knight of Pentacles, or the gift could be, or it could pertain to the like physical, like money, okay? But because this is Queen of Cups, for some reason I just saw the cup and immediately I came to the conclusion that it talks about a gift. But recognition, a gift of recognition, a gift of respect, a gift of almost again honor. What's going on? A gift of appreciation of who you are. That's the feeling. And it feels to me like with this Queen of Cups is going to be um a deeply felt feeling, you know, when this gift is going to be handed. You will also catch people, this is interesting. You'll catch people talking about you, whether it be like regardless of the form, reading, gossip, whatever, other people notifying you of that. You'll find people talking about you. You'll be pleased about that. You will understand that you're an important person, because it's not a simple way in which they will talk about you. They will talk about you in a very like hushed way, or almost, or they will like you will hear about some things that they will talk about in your regard that will feel like very again honorable or highly thought of, or highly esteemed with this Queen of Wands. For some of you, this could be like they will talk about like don't mess with them, they're not to be messed with. Um, we should be careful around them, or we don't know what they're capable of. Also, what you don't see coming, but it will blow your mind, situations, people, and stuff that you were clinging to. I see like a sort of liberation from that. Um, Same energy from a previous pile, outgrowing a lot of things, them not becoming relevant or important to such an extent that you like forget it, or it's no longer even registering in your system, or it's so unimportant that it's basically not even there on the radar again. And seems to me like when people look at you, like despite the like I want to say the internal feeling or the internal experience in here will be quite intense. And to be quite frank with you, from the interior world or from your perspective, this will feel intense and this will feel like a trial. But from the exterior, people will talk about your success. People will talk about that the fact that whenever, like, wherever you are, there that success is accompanying you. And for some people, they are like, they do not understand how that works for you. They do not understand like how it is that this person is like literally surrounded by a lot of like blessings. And for people, like I want to say something about the status in here for pile number two feels so like the speed or the changes or the accomplishments that you were already have or both will have. People don't accomplish these like so they don't accomplish these like in one lifetime, let's be honest, or they could like 2 or 3 milestones like they could reach where you are like ever evolving and changing, and you're much more like speedy in the progression of things, and therefore everything that's being given to you, it's like shown up in almost like this abundance is filtering itself. Sometimes it filters itself into money, sometimes it filters itself into relationship, support from people, or yeah, different levels and dimensions of that abundance is being filtered through and given to you. It feels to me like also you'll have people who will approach you and will ask you for advice or help. This could feel a bit mind blowing for you. Why? It makes me feel like you never considered yourself, or either that or you are not used to that sort of thing happening, and you'll be like quickly thrown in that scenario where you'll have to adjust your self-perception and understand that you are truly someone to be proud of if you have or if you had a person approach you and ask for like advice, whether it be professional or not, really, regardless, doesn't matter. But what I can say in here, with this page of swords, you'll have like genuine people, like this will not be um and you have some very supportive people around you that see this whole thing unfolding, but um this will be genuine advice. So this is not sarcastic, this is not asking you for help because like they want to see how you'll present yourself or stuff like this. No, this is like genuine concern for almost like, let's encompass their idea of things as well, because that's interesting, that's really useful, and they are really like valuable, like their insights are really really valuable. And a lot of support, like I don't see you being left out in the cold. Something else about this pile is the fact that where you're going to be a bit um shaken up, let's say, you will be compensated in another area. So it's like if you were like stable or neutral, and you will have like this tower moment, all of the sudden you will see a lot of support happening from your social system, like family or friends, or it, and it will feel like what's going on. Like I've never had that level or consistency or frequency of support, in my life as I have it right now. So it will feel like everything fired up, and that support showed itself up out of pretty much nowhere. And the funniest of things in here, like from the abundance of cards in here, the funniest of things is the fact that people see already like beginnings, and they can see all of the character traits that are unfolding, like almost they know who you are. They know it even better than you do. Okay. It's like that feeling when, because a person from the exterior, like a stranger, could be much more like objective in their opinion or about, or in regards to their perception of the situation, they could call the situation much more like in a, let's say, direct or black and white or clear way. They could outline it into a more clear, like the clearest of ways, because they're not like necessarily invested in that situation. So it's like people around you see who you are, like truly, but you somehow like are falling behind, in that realization. Like you're toning yourself down for some reason. And there is like a strong feeling of like shadowing yourself. It's like not like deliberate, like it's not deliberate necessarily, but it's like a very strongly ingrained feeling of hiding or not understanding who you are. And you will be placed in situations where this is no longer going to be an option, and by virtue of these situations firing up and showing themselves up into your life, you'll have no choice but to step up. Like that's the message in here. and and by no means you should take this reading and say like, I don't know what's gonna unfold. Throughout all of this, I can see you being supported. It's the change or the discomfort is going to feel a bit like, again, internal. So it's gonna feel like, the moments where, all these people talk about this, all these people support me, and all of the circumstances point in that direction. Well, pretty much I have no choice but to follow that direction, especially because it's in my favor. It's not like pigeonholed in a disadvantageous situation. And because this is all going to be positive, um, this will make you feel like it should happen, you know? Again, that feeling of irreversible like change. And yeah, expect also to be affected in multiple spheres of life: social, career wise, social changes in the ways people see and relate to you, and status wise also, and the ways in which people will approach you, talk about you, to you, and in general how they will present themselves, like how they will present you to other people and in their minds as well. Kind of interesting, because that means they will also adjust the ways in which they see you in their head, like they will change labels. Kind of happens rarely, but also a very similar message like pile number one. So if you want to check this out, you can do it. Thanks for watching pile number two. That was an amazing reading. By the way, I kind of resonated with it as well, because I'm quite familiar with the situation, and with hiding away, like that's a very relevant and unfortunately, like I'm working, like unfortunately a very common, and I'm working on it type of thing issue. But thankfully, I have also situations and things I have to show up in that literally do not allow me to show anything that's not in accordance with the expectation. And expectation for me is like evolution and growth. Luckily, that's reflected, and it's always like mind blowing for me, and quite challenging to manage at times, especially emotionally. But yeah, it's always a good thing in the end, and always something that sparks gratitude and appreciation, even though it's a um, rocky, it's like a very difficult, very towery moments, circumstances type of thing. So I think that's pretty much all, pile number two. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment below how this resonated with you and if it resonated at all. Um, Make sure to check out the old videos as well. Leave a like, subscribe if you're not already. If you want to donate, you have the links in the description and the comment section. And I really hope to see you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, moving on to pile number three. You have the blue pendant, and you have Pleiades in reverse. It says in here double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. There is a sour feeling to this pile for some reason. The topic is what you won't believe will blow your mind. Very interesting. It's the sour aspect, like actually not the sour, it's actually bitter. Like I can see in here bitter, It's almost as if you were investing or like trying to be, trying to assist, trying to help with this Pleiades card, and either you met some people who took this for granted or have taken advantage of it. I want to say in here the like what you won't expect and will blow your mind. I can see in here it's the theme of networking or a lot of people coming to you and seeking your help, seeking your support, wisdom, assistance. For some of you, it could be even like it could be job related, or it's like impact. I constantly hear the word impact. Like this pile is going to be impactful, and I feel like people are going to be drawn to you. Like you won't expect this, but people will feel drawn to you. This pile feels very serene. Um, If I do sound a bit weird or off, it's because I'm actually cold. Oh my God, I've caught I've got a cold, and it's a bit messing with my ability to speak. So, given that I also like kind of picked this pile right now, to film it, it made me feel like you were established into something, and it kind of got destroyed, or it got like almost. It wants me to say almost desecrated, like a very pure intention in here. You won't believe it, or it will blow your mind that it is going to be redeemed. Like pile number three, you're going to be redeemed. You're not going to be left behind. I feel like you assumed in a way, and that's completely okay, that because of this experience, you're never going to open up again, or you were never going to let that happen again. I can feel like the core of this mission or intention is still there, but you've closed off in a way. This is very strange. It's as if this pile has dimmed out in a way. Like that's like, and why? Like, I'm actually very happy for this pile. That's why, like, I'm a bit optimistic about what I'm gonna say right now. I'm a bit cheerful for that reason. Is the fact that you're going to be seen for the purity of your intention. And you will not see it coming, you will not expect it. Like the purity of your soul, something about this is coming through, and it's like, um you know this is heavy stuff. Like this is heavy stuff when it comes to pile number three. For some reason I always keep on picking up stuff like that from pile number three, but there is great depth but also great disappointment in here. You will be blown away by the fact that, like your mind will be blown because of the fact that you'll realize people will feel drawn to you and will see something that you wanted them to see, or you will feel appreciated for something that you truly wanted to be appreciated for. I see impact, I see a bridge between you and people. That's the case. And I see this disappointment lifted. Now, this pile will resonate with people who got disappointed. That's the truth of it. It's a bit different from one and two, but it's very like it almost feels like as a soul quality, it's ancient, like very old soul type of energy, and very misunderstood and not for a lot of people. Like that's the person who's watching pile number three, and you'll be mind blown because you will feel like you are being pushed into the position of using that, initial intention that you wanted to shine with or shine through for people. Now, it's kind of questionable. Like, there is almost like a discrepancy in here that's shown in the energy of your pile, because there is like the world and you, there is such a contrast, and because of that contrast, when you two meet, there is a huge battle of swords, and there's like an equalization, or I don't know how to explain it. It's like when, you know, hot water and icy water meet, and the reaction, or fire and water, like that's the whole thing. Um, like there is a reaction in here. I can see like the purity of pile number three and the world. You will be mind blown because you will, despite being disappointed, see yourself as a leader in the role of, taking the world to the next level with that like pure intention that you've had, or that like fundament that you built, and it kind of got desecrated. I don't know why this is the case. You should know it better, or desecrated is like a very almost like dramatic, too dramatic word, but it got like mistreated, could be a synonym for this energy, or misunderstood and like disrespected. Like that's the whole thing. And it almost made you feel like you want to give up. I hate to say it because it feels to me like, life kind of throws people, and me also, in tower moments. So it was kind of a tower moment for this pile to experience this like purity and being met with cruelty instead. Um, so yeah, I want to say the right people will show up, or the right circumstances for you to be reborn, like the star energy is coming through. I cannot tell you how many times I've bit my tongue today, and it seems like it's only getting worse. So yeah, that's a wonderful experience. I really hope you're not like affected by that, but yeah, just wanted to extend an effort and basically like still create a reading for you despite being a bit like feeling like unwell. Um, Still wanted to show up, and I'm very grateful I did, because Um, a wonderful energy, I can say. Pile number three, I'm not regretting the fact that I created this reading. Oh god. You have also a chiromancer delivering news, collaboration, and tailor attention to detail and pride. God, like this is such a powerful message. I cannot tell you, like, I cannot even express it. I don't know where to begin even. First of all, the tailor card shows scissors in here, and I was feeling like you're going to be establishing very powerful boundaries. This is hilarious. Why? Because the boundaries that you're going to establish, and by virtue of being so pure, you will establish very powerful boundaries. I will not go into detail why this is the case. It's just like an intuition feeling, but because of that purity, or a very, or both, like a strong moral compass, you're capable of creating such boundaries that are not going to, because you're attentive, because you're empathetic to people, you're going to create just enough like sharpness, or distance with people, but not too much so as to cruelly like hurt them, or not hurt them, oh my god, not to cruelly treat them, you know. You will really use discernment in here, and I can feel like you are going to create just the right mix of boundaries and signs in here for people to not mm, mess with your life. Light. Light, okay, life also could be the case, and is very much so applicable. But the tailor in here also shows me that you will aside from the reborn thing I was feeling, like transformation and rising from the ashes, this feels interestingly enough like as a, for some reason, blue flame or blue water like phoenix. Now, this is the first time actually I hear about this or come across this thing, but it does make me feel like we're talking about some sort of blue phoenix, okay? Now, about the concept, I think I met this somewhere from someone, but yeah, it's just like blue phoenix. I don't know what it means, but that's what I can see in here. Like, it's not fire, almost like it's water, and it's very pure, it's very refined, it's almost, it's so pure, it's actually alien. Like, it's not from this world type of pure when it comes to pile number three. And the most of like the most wonderful thing I can read for you in here is the fact that we have in here this strong feeling or information of empowerment that's coming through. Whether you want this or not, whether you're ready for this or not, I feel like this will happen for you in a very unexpected way. Like, you will take the lead in a way, like you will powerfully claim your confidence, like you will become very powerful understanding by virtue of understanding who you truly are. I feel like most of the power you have been like trying to almost like sift or give away, it's coming back to you whether you want this or not, and it's a shift. I see people feeling drawn to you. Like, that's the most, like, if I were to really crystallize the reading, and given like the first card is like for me as a reader, it's like my personal technique, like relating it to the whole reading itself. But yeah, it could be, it could have also exceptions, but it does make me feel like you will be a bit shocked or surprised by the amount of um, how many people will start to show up or will want to like really be a part of your life. That's not one person, that's not two. I see a lot of them. It could be the case that you're already like in this energy, or you're already knowing like what I'm referring to. But the tailor shows me that you are going to be like literally cutting on a lot of like BS. Like, I want to say this as it is. It makes me feel like your empathy is going to be very sharp this time, and in a way like you will use empathy also with discernment. When I say that, literally it's like the case, and I'm not saying like this is like, hear me out. For example, when a person, for example, tries to take advantage of your empathy, you're no longer going to like give empathy to that person because they will try to exploit you. So it's that kind of thing in here. Like, you will establish like, and I'm not saying like you didn't do that in the past or anything, but it does make me feel like there will be like a noble selection in here. Like, who are you going to like offer this energy of yours, your presence? Like, who is the person who's going to be worthy enough for me to um for them to have me in their life? And I do not say this from a perspective of ego, because it makes me feel like this pile like is capable of great love, or is capable of giving themselves like fully in a relationship. And it's actually quite rare. Like, it's a very like you know innocent and very intelligent, noble, and you know, you could be cunning, but you refine and bring the best in that quality. And that's the most fascinating thing about this pile is the fact that they are capable of bringing that to the table so effortlessly, because it's a part of who you are. Like that's the message I can hear. Also, be prepared to be met with a lot of fascination, admiration, and generally speaking, like a lot of respect. Because we have this child card in reverse and the bouquet card in upright, people will start to behave around you in a very highly esteemed, like type of way, highly thought of, like person, like walked into the room, like that kind of energy, and like well deserved. I feel like you were missing on, and you know this, like you know this to be true. You were missing on a lot of behavior, and you're not entitled for this. Like a lot of like equal, noble, acknowledgement who you are type of behavior. For example, um, it just flies like so many examples fly in my head, and it feels like none is like really good. But like let's give a blunt one. Like when a queen walks into the room and she is royalty, she has to be treated in one way. I feel like this is not about, again, egocentrism or narcissistic behavior, because I feel like this pile is very oriented, like almost like you could be even not related, not be necessarily like job related to people, but you have this core instinct to assist and help people regardless of your position or something. But it does make me feel like you should have been treated in like very noble ways for the things that you were offering. And the fact is, it's pretty mind-blowing for me why this is the case, that you only like experience right now, or you're only coming in contact with such admiration. At least like it will happen, or like why right now, like why so late, you know? Keycard, like I was asking this, and you have this, it's an experience, like the answer for your questions, like why you've been handled in such a way, like such a rude way, or almost like hurtful, cruel, like that's the word, ways. It's experience for the sake of experience, and for the sake of your almost like, you know, diamond under pressure. Like that's the, like diamonds are created under pressure, like that's the answer that came to mind as I was reading your energy in here. And that is pretty mind-blowing, because to be honest and fair, like that's the only explanation I can like sleep well at night with uh on this like topic. That like any other explanation for me would be like pretty depressing, or like it showed up, like I will just say that. um King of Cups in reverse. You'll be mind blown by the fact that you have in here some people who will strongly regret. And like when I say regret, this is like almost a double-edged sword, like kind of thing. Your disappointment and non-collaboration with people who hurt you is bitter enough for them already, but I can feel in here there is something more. There are people who held like some sort of karmic debts in here that are going to feel it all on their skin. Um, that's the thing. Like, I just see the message, like you will hear about people who hurt you, and you will hear some sort of stuff about their life, and literally I don't feel like necessarily like you're vengeful or something, but let's just say that, it will just happen. Like you will hear from people that hurt you, who hurt you, and you will understand that, you know, their actions got them in the end. Like that's what I can hear in here being like ringing into the reading. And you're all good. I can see in here for sure. Like, I want to say, there is like pettiness in people's lives that brought them to this point of like desecrating or disrespecting your energy. And I can see this being pinched off like from their luck, from their abundance, prosperity, and like because we have the abundance of cups in here, I want to say huge, huge emotional, like, fortunately or not, but huge emotional turmoil for these people. And exhaustion. It could be the case, by the way, that you were experiencing like exhaustion and a lot of strain, and I can say like baggage in here is being like shown. And what about that? Yeah, whether you want this or not, you're moving. Like you're moving forward, you're moving beyond it. Um, like there is a feeling of this pile not really, not necessarily like seeking change or not knowing how to create that liberation from circumstances, but you're being moved, you know? It makes me feel like this pile is moved slowly and steadily in directions that they do not see or understand. But it feels to me like the more time passes, the more people and circumstances really like compliment you like on your true traits. I find it quite fascinating, like fascinating. And to be honest, like I'm a bit shocked because I was expecting or I was intending for you to be mind blown, and actually, like what I ended up doing, like was me myself becoming mind blown. Like, thank you. My intention got me, but it makes me feel like in the past you were a bit like mixed with a lot of energies that were not yours, and it was not meant to be, or it was not like you know, when the person, like a very like noble person, is being mixed with a group of people that like generally do not like vibe with that type of energy, like literally the case. uh and with this devil card in here, I can say more and more, like more and more often, you are being like more and more immune to that energy. Like, you know, in the past, if it was more like a mix of, you know, how water mixes with water, and in this case, like not anymore. Like you are becoming that oil and water, like they do not mix. So I feel you being like very strong and like established in your own identity, and that no longer like participates into your life or is quickly dissipated, which I find to be wonderful news for you. I want to say there is a huge like bonus in here that's coming through, like unexpected one, in regards to finances or results that will also lead to finances. Like you have to pick it how it resonates for you. And again, I bit my tongue. um, it's just like a wonderful thing to see in here that your legacy is coming back to you. Your legacy is coming back to you, like who you truly are is coming back to you. If you were in life feeling like you had to fit in, or you had to blend in, or like chameleon, but this is not even chameleon with a sense that you are afraid. This is chameleon because you're too like, you know that you're too good at something in here. And it's almost like a noble, like humble hiding. Almost like you did that, like you were purposefully hiding or humbly. It makes me feel like you're humbly hiding your power. How is this like, I literally can't. And the moment in here that really like shines through is like people stepping up and saying like, this makes no effing sense, why this person has to be in the shadows. Like that's the thing. And this will manifest itself in various ways. You'll have people in here who'll be like, uh, some of them will manifest attention towards you, some of them will manifest like will express their love in different ways. Like you will have in here people helping you, you'll have in here people like socializing with you, you will have people in general like pushing you for the best opportunities, like, or speak up, like that's the message, like almost like they would urge you to speak up, show up, speak your truth, almost like they say that pile number three is like a genius. Pile number three is a prodigy. And this is again, like, this is no ego or stuff. And to give you a fair explanation, you will recognize this because you feel very humble. Like you draw the line really well with the humbleness type of thing. Like you just give off the most like proper, almost like molecular right amount of power display, and not like so it doesn't spill into ego or egocentrism or narcissism. You were avoiding attention. It makes me feel like, and it doesn't make sense to me in a way, or this energy doesn't make sense, because for the amount of power that you have, it was only natural. Like people say, if I were that powerful, I would step up immediately, like in a snap of the fingers. For you, it was a lot more complicated, or it's like it's a bit more like hesitant. And I love it that I see this, and I'm like quite hyped up for this. I've seen a lot of this energy in my reads recently, where people will be unwillingly almost being thrown into the spotlight, and I'm getting tired of seeing this. But you know, and this is very different for like people like in their circumstances, because some of you will have this spotlight effect in circumstances where you're going to be recognized, pushed forward, or promoted, or good references or popularity. It's literally infinite if you think about it, but promotion in the social, like that sounded so weird, but it's the case. That's what I can see. And it's no longer going to be possible for you to doubt yourself or to like use this humble attitude and not like step up as a leader. And I find that quite nice, because even though it could be a bit complicated or stressful for you at first, it's like well deserved. This pile should have had this moment of, recognition and love for who they are. I find this very interesting because I see people just looking at you and saying like, that's a precious that's a precious person, like protect them at all costs. Like that's the message in here I can sense. And you'll freeze. You'll freeze. You'll freeze. And you're not going to be prepared. Like that unleashed, like that energy unleashed will make you feel like, what asteroid meteorite hit me, like what's going on, just leave me be, just leave me alone. you know have you guys seen the Howl's Moving Castle? I don't want to give spoilers. It's a wonderful like cartoon. I loved it. uh but I know there is like a character there, like actually the main character, Sophie, and yeah, I don't feel like I'm gonna be able to give you the information because that contains spoilers. But now I have to edit this. Okay, the thing is, there is like a misuse of character traits that's going on in this pile. Like let's like create this. Like I want to say the cartoon itself shows how everyone like almost have had this like soul connection, like heart to heart connection. Everyone loved the main protagonist because of her purity. And in the end, not gonna go, okay, like I feel so like I cannot hold myself to tell you what. You have to just watch it. If you will understand what I'm saying, you will understand. Like if you watch the movie, you will understand what I'm saying actually. But it's the fact that that purity, that genuine kind nature, was something that in the end won over absolutely everyone, even the enemies, which is fascinating to me because if you will look at it, the main protagonist is not a god, is not a ideal, let's say, like just a kind person. And when I say just a kind person, it's like it's both simple and genius at the same time. And how like always there was no hesitation in like helping others. Even the ones who like mistreated, like that's like the most, I it's like my favorite, like Howl's Moving Castle. I have to like repeat this if people will ask me. You have to watch it if you will like it, of course, but I feel like this movie contains a very wonderful truth that's being unfolded in this like reading. And there was something there in the cartoon that almost like postponed her like blessings, but it was all for a very good reason. And yeah, I think that's all. I don't want to uh, leave like too many details out because I think these would qualify as spoilers. But yeah, um, there is like a long-awaited reward of like gratitude and self-appreciation that is going to be mirrored in people's ways in which they will treat you. And the world is going to be like, you know, if you kind of hesitate to love yourself or to see yourself, like let me give you a helping hand and show you what you're truly worth. And you will have the compliments, the very special behavior that you know, like you will also hesitate towards it, as like towards accepting it, but you will know deep down inside of you that you deserve it and you deserve the best. I think that's all, pile number three. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, don't forget to comment below, especially pile number three. I love when everyone comments, but especially like pile number three. And yeah, all piles are wonderful actually, but it's very interesting how this one played out, and it took out one of my favorite cartoons. Yeah. And I feel like, the more I read, the more personal like stuff I start to give out there in the reads. And I feel like this is okay and wonderful because I like it when people connect to my readings and to me in a way, because it allows me to establish this community aspect, or it's not just about me like giving you something and literally like disappearing, and it's only an exchange of that. I really love investing some sort of personal aspect in here, and I love sharing like small bits of information about myself as well, so that you can feel connected to me as well, and yeah, like really understand perhaps like even better the reads themselves, by virtue of understanding my psychology or who I am. And I will definitely make sure to add up some more details about myself into like, I will like give those in random parts of the piles. So yeah, it so happened that today I gave personal details like such as like favorite cartoon in pile number three. I don't remember though if I gave this in two and one, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to also check out the old videos on the channel as well. I have some interesting topics there. You might be interested in watching or checking them out. Um, you have the donation link in the description and the comment section if you are interested in that. If not, that's also completely okay. Thank you so much for your time and for your energy on my channel. I hope to see you in the future readings. Take care.